If we were to look at the way organizations traditionally put teams together, there's really two types of teams. There's traditional types teams, and then there's what we call high performance teams. Now, if we look at the history of the way teams have been developed and go back to the early 19th century, we all started as individuals creating a living, whether we were farmers or worked in a craft, some type of skill, and we found a need to come together, traditionally because of war is what started it. And then as things progressed, as we invented the railroad and then eventually moved to Henry Ford developing cars, we had to create a better way to produce a product and work better as a team to create a profit center. So when you look at the tradition of the way teams were set up, like Henry Ford as an example, we brought people in to create a factory line, and everyone had a very narrowly defined job, very specific. So I could teach someone how to drill a hole in a piece of sheet metal, and if they got really good at that and specialized at that, then as we set up the factory line, we could produce a great result. The characteristics of that traditional team was that everything was very structured, very narrow focus for the employee. All decisions were made at the top and moved down, and without, the employee wasn't empowered to make any changes without management approving it, because we were in a very factory-driven, narrowly defined job, very highly technical skilled in one specific subject, and then we would pass that product or that piece of metal down the line and produce an end result. In a high-performance organization, though, over the years, as things evolved, as information got quicker, as changes happened, as the internet was invented, and all these different changes happened, we found that the traditional model, the control and demand, the very hierarchical structure, was starting to break down, and that employees were rebelling, that the days of security with that company where we could work there 50 years and retire with a pension were starting to fade away, and employees felt like if we were going to produce a better product quicker, faster, and be more competitive on a global scale, we need to rethink the way we work as teams. And so the high performance model started evolving, where employees were empowered to make decisions when they needed to make them, how they needed. They worked as self-regulating work teams where they had a clearly articulated goal and a vision, and they figured out as a team how to accomplish that goal. And management became not the decision maker from a control and demand standpoint, but became a coach and a mentor and a resource to that team as they were collaborating together to create that high performance outcome. And so the transition from traditional to high performance teams, even though it's taken time, and even though organizations that are very large and rooted in history are struggling with that change, the results that are happening because of high performance characteristics cannot be forgotten.